Hello and welcome back to the Views Expressed. We are here for more incredible community conversation here with WACA Podcasts, and we have two incredible guests with us. Two of the founding members of A.R.E.A, and I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and then we're going to talk a little bit about A.R.E.A, what they do, and specifically around Black History Month and how we've had these wonderful community celebrations of the event in years past. So I'm going to start down at that end of the table for people who are listening. I'm pointing to my left.
Absolutely. Makeda, thank you so much for having us here to this show. Looking forward to this conversation. My name is Maggie Musoke, and I've been a resident of Ashland for about 20 years now. What a beautiful community and the work we've done with everyone in the community. I live in Ashland with my family, and I'm happy to be here today.
Happy to have you, Maggie.
Thank you.
Barbara, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you so much, Makeda, for inviting us. We're excited to be here. And my name is Barbara Sekesugundu, and I'm here with my family. I've been in Ashland for, I think, a little over 5 years now. And so far, I can't complain. It's an exclusive town.
Oh, I don't know how exclusive we are. I think thanks to I feel like we're very open and welcoming, and I think it's to a lot of folks' credit in town that we have been such an open and welcoming community, and I think your organization has done a lot to do that, as well as just our friends and neighbors of all backgrounds. You know, so I think that's what makes our community really special.
Yeah.
You know, I've been here for almost over 20
Over 20 years?
I
Wow.
think. Oh my gosh, don't
So
tell anybody
I don't.
about
so-
that. Go ahead.
So I know, like they say, what do they say? That townies, they're townies, and then
Yes.
they're also all kind of diverse, you know, as you can see here. 20, a little 20,
yeah.
over 20 years, 5 years, 1 year, 30 years.
Right.
So it's such a welcoming town, and it's amazing.
It really is. It really is. So, but let's talk a little bit about some observances that you all have done for Black History Month. You know, I can share some memories. You know, when I saw you all with some of your first celebrations here a few years ago, and now I feel like they're just part of the community's fabric,
Right.
and they're just so much fun to watch and be a part of. But I'm going to shut up, and I don't know, Barbara, maybe you want to get us started on some of the things that A.R.E.A has done to educate the community about Black history.
So as A.R.E.A, we have had a few activities we had in town. We've had celebrated our, you know, like our anniversary. I remember the first time it was,
When we celebrated,
I
I think
the
it was
first time.
within 3 years?
3 years.
Yeah, because it's going to
And-
be about 5 years now.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's been and we've included some other committees in town that are doing a lot of meaningful work too, trying to bring people together. Ashland, and we have also been working with our own, you know, the greater community, the schools, you know, the police. So, and we also celebrated Juneteenth. So now it's like an annual celebration. We know A.R.E.A will be there, and it brings in a lot of people in Ashland, and just educating people a little more if they have any questions. We try to, you know, help everyone. And like our name said, you know, A.R.E.A is Ashland Residents for Equity and Action. So we try to help whenever we get a chance to, if people wants to know more.
Circle back to you, Barbara, in a minute. Maggie, you know, Barbara talked about some of the organizations that you've partnered with here in town, and you've partnered with a lot of great folks. So there's some community-based organizations as well as some of the institutions that you've partnered with too. Like who have you worked with in the past?
Oh my God. A lot of groups in town. I'll just start with why currently right now, we're in discussions with YMCA, and we've invited a few other members on a little project we're hoping to get off the ground. We've worked with decisions at every turn. Ashland is United, and of course other, committees in town, select board, they've been there, and other communities, and also other local groups. Oh, Girl Scouts, how could I forget Girl Scouts?
Yeah.
Girl Scouts have been involved in
course.
some of the project work we've done, when we're collecting food and clothes, Girl Scouts were really involved. So, and regular folks in town, they've been really welcoming to our group, and I feel like it's not just our group, it's just become a community thing. It's become normal, like in the fabric, like you said, of Ashland.
And one of the things that I really admire about A.R.E.A and the work that specifically like you two do, and all of the gang over at A.R.E.A. First off, it's a very diverse group.
Yes.
So it brings together like people of all backgrounds here in town. But it's so, and we learn about a whole bunch of things. But it just feels like, to your point, Maggie, it's become such a fabric in town. Like the Juneteenth celebrations, I mean, every time I go, I always hear people in the crowd, no matter who they are, like they're like, "This is incredible," or like, "Oh, I didn't know this," or "This is really educational," or like, "Wow, this is So like, I think like when we all learn together as a community and we celebrate together as a community, I think that really opens up hearts and minds, and I think y'all have done a really great job of doing that.
Well, thank you so much. With your guidance, I remember when we started, we knew what we wanted to do, but we need also guidance. So I feel like as a community, yourself and very many other members came to, we had various conversations on who do we talk to, how do we get started, how do we get involved in this, how do we get involved in town, how do we get involved, how do we get on committees? We didn't have this information, so.
I mean, Kara, who's one of the founding members as well, very influential, like so many, and that's the thing, right? It's not, I think when you all were getting started, like everybody was, I don't think there was anybody in the community who was just like, "Oh no," So I think everybody was just like, "How can I help? How can I do this?" But steering the conversation a little bit more and focusing in more on Black history. We're doing this interview in observance of Black History and Black History Month. I have to ask both of y'all, like, why is Black History Month important for you and in general, for you personally and generally? Like, why is it important?
Yeah, so I'll go. I use Black History Month it's important to me because I feel like I take that as a focus time to educate myself about the, very many hidden figures that we don't know about. And that also actually inspires me to do more. By just that struggle and the ingenuity that they had, and using the little resources that they had in those times, to be able to come up with all kinds of things. And I feel like it's an inspiration for us, and inspiration for like groups like A.R.E.A and any individual, whether you're in a group or not, to get involved in your town, in your town, or get involved in your community. If there's an issue that you notice, you don't have to wait for the next person. You can get it started. Yeah. So one interesting lady I learned about, her name is Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner. This lady invented the sanitary pad. I mean, women, come on, each time of that month, I'd never.
It's a big invention.
Right.
Yeah. People don't think about it, but
So when I hear about women like that, of hidden figures like that, I don't stop there. I talk to my kids, I talk to friends, we have these open discussions, and I encourage them to also go look for this information, and let's just have these conversations as a community, regardless of your background, race. This is information that we all need to learn about. And also I like to recognize the struggles that they went through and how we can learn from history.
That is good.
Yeah.
What does Black
Yes.
History Month mean to you, Barbara? Why is it important? Is it just important? Well, let me ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot. Is it just important for Black folks to know about Black history, or African American folks to know about Black history, or should everybody know a little bit about it, and why? If so, why?
Yes, so Black history is not just for Black people, and it's not just like just celebrating Black history. It's also making you understand. You know, like Maggie said, it also gives you an opportunity to learn. Even yes, we are Black, but there's still a lot of things that, because it was not our time, we have to read it and learn it. That's how we know more of this information. And I feel like it's good to, like with the younger generation, you know, the more they read the books, and yes, we celebrated Black history, but then with the hopes that you continue learning more, because this is just like an initial start. So to give them like a push to say, okay, let's start when they read about one person, even the popular ones that pretty much almost everybody knows,
Right.
you know, Martin Luther King, you know, Malcolm X. They read one, and it hopefully gives them that more interest to see, okay, let me find more information. But like, you know, we talked about that there's more people in history who did more things that inspire us, that it just, I feel like it's also like I'm talking about the younger generation. It helps them to say, if you have something that you want to do, if you voice it, you know, or you go ahead and follow your dreams, it can be possible.
I love that, Barbara. And I think one thing that I'm just kind of focusing in on, I think that there's a lot to unpack with both of what you all said. So let me see if I can do this. You know, knowing history and understanding history is so important. All history, right?
Yep.
And, you know, Black history in the United States and across the world is a part of that world history, is part of that
Yes, it
history.
is.
So, you know, number one, it's just important that everyone understands history so that, you know, you can do many things, especially what Barbara said. I think drawing strength and encouragement from some of the struggles, but also some of the ingenuity and some of the, you know, the creativity of some of these folks. Those are lessons that I don't care who you are, I don't care what your background is, like that's something that you can draw upon for strength, you know, whether you're Black, white, Asian, you know, whatever, like,
Correct.
you know, or whomever, or whatever ethnic backgrounds you lay claim to, you know, you can draw inspiration to that.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
And,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. To add to what you just said, there's this lady, one of the things that A.R.E.A has done now, a second year in a row, is organize a group, you know, invite the community to go to Danforth Museum of Art. What a
Yes.
beautiful place. What a gem. I feel like everyone should go visit that little gem we have in Framingham.
If you haven't been yet, you
Yes.
really need to
Yes.
go.
Yes, you need
It's
to
incredible.
go.
I mean, all the exhibits there are amazing. I mean, it's right in our backyards, folks. We, you know, do it. I'm
Right.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's a great. And to all folks that work at Danforth, you guys are great. You guys are awesome.
They're amazing.
So so second year in a row, we have this group. People just, you know, sign up, and we have food. So the main thing there is we learned about a woman by the name of Meta Vox Warwick Fuller. I might have butchered the name a little bit. Meta Vox Warwick Fuller. She was an African American artist. She was right here in Framingham. Her artwork is amazing. She was a sculptor, painter, poet, a mother, a wife, a designer, and also did some work with theater. We learned all that recently, you know, when we went to celebrate Black History Month. And her work, talking about the struggles, she started out here in art school, but she was not accepted in the American schools, you know, because she was a Black student. But she persisted to go abroad. And this particular school abroad was offering American students, you know, a place. So when she got there, what was told to us at the museum, that they were like, oh, we thought an American was coming here. yes, I am American. You are American. But I said,
didn't say you were black.
right. So they were like, we can't have you here.
Right,
So
right.
she ended up going somewhere else. And long story short, she persisted. She never gave up.
Yes.
So this is a story, I feel like a strength we can all pull from, regardless, like Makeda said, of color. So long story short, she came back here, did her work, has a mom, got busy, but on her off time, did all this sculpting that you guys will see at Danforth Museum of Art in Framingham. So that shows the persistence and the struggles that the black people faced. But on a positive point, if you persist regardless, and
Yes.
especially today, just educating ourselves, not only Black History Month, but all months, just understanding the struggle, but also coming together to work together as a community to how do we help each other, equity. That's what I feel like that's where this has to go, yeah,
Yes.
to move the
Well
world.
said.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. And, I think that to hone in on that, just the persistence, right?
Yes.
Everyone, regardless of background, faces struggle, And the funny thing about it is that, I think sometimes we as human beings forget to have empathy for each other, right?
Wow.
And, no matter what your background is, everyone has been through something. I don't care if you're white, you're black, you're female, you're male, you've been through something. And all of these stories, the stories you're talking about, the stories that we've talked about, learning about Black History Month, to draw strength from people who were creative, who figured out a way through persistence to keep driving at their dreams and their goals. My goodness, how inspirational, but also like whenever you're kind of like at that point where like, oh man, I can't figure my way out of this. It's like, no, yes, you can.
Yes, you
like,
can.
Yes, you can.
Look at this historical figure. Look at that
Right.
historical figure. Like they managed to do
Absolutely.
it. They're human beings like me. I can figure out a way out of my mess too.
I can.
and maybe
Yes.
even make the world a little better while I do it.
Yes.
I was very honored to be part of that group at the Danforth earlier, and I was very impressed by seeing that collection. And that artist actually has a couple of works, I think, on display at the Smithsonian at the African American Museum down in D.C. as well.
Yes.
So again, folks, it's right in Framingham.
In Framingham, right here.
Like world-class art.
Oh, my God.
Like right in your backyard. So go check it out. But yeah, so just kind of moving on a little bit. I think I do want to circle back on a point that both of you made about drawing that inspiration and from Black history. And both of you have been very active in the Ashland community for some time. And how has your understanding of Black history and your learning about Black history informed like you and has inspired the work that you do, with your friends and neighbors here in Ashland? You can go first.
I know,
It doesn't-
it's a lot. I mean, in 5 years,
I do.
just the stuff we've done with the help and support of our community and beyond has been amazing. So that's a loaded question. So, and first of all, I want to start with, being appreciative that I guess the three of us were recognized at the State House.
Well, I wasn't going to embarrass Barbara. About
Yeah.
this, but let's talk
Well,
about
let's talk about
let's talk
the-
about Barbara because
So-
in the winter of 2025, what
Yes.
Yes.
honor and distinction did you receive, Barbara?
Yes.
So I did get recognition, which I was nominated by our state representative
Yes.
to Jack Lewis. So I got an award from the state representative, and I got an award from the Senator President. Yes, Senator Spilker. So and also, so I did get 3 awards that night, and so the other one from the President for Black History Excellence. So speaking of Black history,
Yeah.
so Who
So
knows?
congratulations,
Well,
Barbara.
congratulations. I was
Yeah.
gonna,
Yes.
I was
So
gonna
thank you.
embarrass you at the end, but like we can do that now. But
Yeah.
like all
Well,
these accolades that you've acquired, and Maggie, you were a recipient of that award as well,
As well.
Yes.
in the previous cycle. But
Yeah.
you know, as people who are out here in the community partnering with other folks, you know, how does Black history inspire you to do what you do here in Ashland?
Yeah, right. So I was answering that question. I want to answer it backwards.
Okay.
So by that, just jumping off from all those, the recognition that was, Barbara, congratulations, that she just received. Makeda, you did too. Congratulations.
It's old news.
It goes back. So
Nobody
it goes
cares.
back to covering, the Massachusetts Black and Latino Legislative Caucus.
Yeah.
So I joined efforts and force at the State House from the governor and lieutenant governor and all the folks that work there to recognize the Black and Latino community and the work they're doing. And this, I feel like, has going back to Black history, where things were happening and people were inventing things and some of the recognition was not there. Just as America correcting this and fixing this, to recognize not only the Black community or any other minority community, but any American or anybody trying to contribute to our society is important. So I drove my energy from Black history when I read about Mary, who invented the sanitary pad, and people like that. And we're facing a tough day as area, trying to figure things out or trying to get some event, and we're facing obstacles. I draw some energy from those people and the work they did. And I get back, we sit as a community, we're like, we're gonna get this done, we're gonna get this done. So I feel I get inspiration and strength from learning about Black history, American history.
Yep.
That's how it helps me as well. And even just sharing it with the young folks, because a lot of them don't know, but actually they do appreciate it. Our young people do appreciate it, appreciate this work. So, yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
And, like you said, there's a lot of Black people or people of color that have done a lot, but it was just never recognized. So even just being at the State House to see all those people and, something as simple as just having the first superintendent who's a female and Black in Springfield. That was something huge.
Very inspiring.
And yes, very inspiring. It just tells you that, whatever you put your mind to it, and we now know that the ones that were there before us, if they can do it,
Right.
there's what should be stopping us, in our communities to work together.
Right.
Yep.
And having these diverse minds come together, I feel it's a powerful tool like we should all draw from, whether it's in our communities or as a nation.
Yes.
Diverse minds, even in companies, they say there's increased productivity. So,
True.
I feel I'm all fired up every year, every day to move the needle a little bit forward in terms of let's come as a community and continue this work to make it, a very inclusive and happy community for everyone here in Ashland and beyond. And it involves all of us just doing this work, putting in time. If you don't have the time to sit down and start an organization, donate money to some organizations that are doing work, in disadvantaged communities and education in schools, or just give back in any way you can. I have this rule that I feel like we all have 5 minutes to give. If you don't donate some money, donate your finances to just make, our communities.
Yes, and something that we talk about too, like in area that, like most of these committees, people feel like if they join a committee, they feel like you have to put like hours and hours. Most of them, they meet like once a month or even once quarterly. Like now with areas, sometimes we meet once quarterly, unless if there's something that's going on that we have to talk about. But it's just, even just coming and listening when people are talking, it's very inspiring. just lifts you up, just knowing that, there are some people that you can go on and talk to, and if there's things that needs to be done, we work together.
And let's not get discouraged. If you feel like, you try once to, get the door opened and it doesn't work, and, let's partner like A.R.E.A. I guess our mission says it best. We're not only working as Black people, we work with allies. Everybody's
Yes.
welcome. And I would love to just end with this, this mission. I feel like A.R.E.A. is a group of people of color and their allies working together to ensure that our voices are represented in local and civic organizations, like you said, government and the schools. We also support and promote people of color-run businesses in Metro West as engines of economic development that benefit our community at large. Through community action, we want to make Ashland a safe and inclusive community for all. I mean, that feels like history now, because Ashland has been,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and, I think that's, again, there's a lot to unpack there, but I think some of the key takeaways I'm hearing is that, especially with a lot of the work that you've done with A.R.E.A., and both of you, and everyone on A.R.E.A., because it's a very big and devoted group of folks from all backgrounds. One thing that's inspirational when I do manage to get to your meetings, and it's not as often as I probably should be, is that there is a lot of cooperation, there's a lot of optimism, there's a lot of community spirit there, and I think people hold each other in high regard, no matter what background, and I think everyone there is dedicated to keeping Ashland and a beautiful place for everyone. Everyone,
Yes.
white, Black, Latino, Asian, and making sure that we work together as a community to see the kind of community that we want to have. You're talking about Black history. Black history is part of American history.
Absolutely.
And I think we've kind of come full circle. We should all know all of our history here in this country,
Yes.
and make sure that we all draw strength and inspiration from the
From it.
many stories
Yes.
that so many groups have contributed. It's like you used to call it the Great American Melting Pot. So we've got so many people from so many diverse backgrounds. And that defines America, all of us, and and to your point, Maggie, and it's been shown, that diversity is part of our strength as
it is.
Americans,
It
right?
is.
So, so I think that's something that we can all be proud of and hold dear, and draw from that optimism, and keep going towards the future all together.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you both so much for being here to talk a little bit about Black history. If people are interested in an area, how can they get in touch with the group?
Absolutely.
They have a website?
Yes. ashlandequity.org.
Okay, great.
You can
People
go
go
there and
there.
subscribe, and we have all. Look at our website. We have all. Yeah. So that's one way to reach us. Absolutely.
Oh.
And
Leave an email
Yeah.
if you want us to get in touch with you.
yes.
And if people wants to help us go with them, join another committee in town, you
Yeah.
know. You can go and just with you, because sometimes I know people don't want to go to a new committee where there are new faces by themselves.
Oh, that's true.
So it's,
They're a very friendly group. I want to say, they welcome everybody. It's really great. And you make it fun, and you do a lot of fun stuff, and with your community partners, and especially decisions that return, Ashland's United, and
Yes.
so many people that I'm not mentioning that will be angry because I don't mention them.
Please, thank
But
everyone.
it's everyone
Please.
in town, and that's one of the great things about being in Ashland. Like, as a community, we all pull together to make Ashland a better place. Thank you so much, you two, for coming on the Views Expressed for this wonderful celebration
thank
of our
you for having
community and
us.
Black history.
Thank you so much, Makeda, for having us, and want to thank everyone, the area, the community of Ashland, the board, area board, and all the members. It's
Amazing.
amazing. So let's keep celebrating Black history all year long.
All year
All
long.
year long.
My goodness, what a happy note to leave on. And thank you, listeners, for hanging out with us on the Views Expressed. Yet another community-based conversation offered by WACA. Make sure to tune in again. We'll have some more hyper-local conversation for you to enjoy. Take care, everybody.